Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tarda Zone. I had planned on taking the night off because Charlotte was feeling a little bit tired after work, so I sent PD a message to say you could take the night off. But BBC have just dropped these last couple of minutes a little short video, a message from Jinkx, Monsoon, and the costume. And I've asked, some people are asking in the chat, is it bad? I've not seen it. Well, I'll let you judge for yourself. And then you can give me your opinion. We've got Lindsay, Aeon, Bobby D75 in the chat. And we've got Laura Thought in the chat as well. Nice to see you. Yeah, right. Let's bring this on. Let's show you what this is all about. I mean, I needed a laugh. I have to be honest. I just didn't think that Doctor Who would be the ones providing it again. But yes, they've struck again. I really don't know what to say here. But I'll let you look for yourselves. So I just want to pause this video. I just want to put it back. And I want to introduce you to Jinkx, Monsoon, and the costume. By the way, this is a costume reveal video. And then we get some images that I'm going to show you. So hold on, before I share this, actually, I want to make sure that you get the full screen of this so you can enjoy it as much as I did. So let's put it up on screen. It's 24 seconds long. It's had 16,000 views already. And I just want to make sure that the volume is up so you can hear the voice as well. So here we go. This is Jinkx, Monsoon, who is obviously starting filming Doctor Who. And obviously there has been a costume reveal because obviously it's going to be some public filming. So here we go.
I'm Jinkx Monsoon, and this is my costume for Doctor Who.
Right, so then we get the logo, right? So I won't play the logo because we don't want to get a copyright. So let's play that again. This is Jinkx Monsoon.
I'm Jinkx Monsoon, and this is my costume for Doctor Who.
So that is the video. BBC have also delighted us with some images, which I'm going to throw up on screen. As you can tell, I'm kind of lost for words. I don't even know if I'm supposed to I don't even know how I'm supposed to react to that, to be quite honest with you. But it looks like that the character is obviously, they will say that it's not a drag character, but in reality, it really is. It's just obviously whoever Jinkx is playing. Those rumors about the Rani just keep coming up all the time. And maybe they have sorted out the legal issues. And if that's the case, you could be looking at your new JWC says you're stunned now. Look, I always knew that RTD was going to be progressive with his casting. But the whole thing around drag queens, there's a big debate about that, and I don't know. So there's a picture. And I'll show you the other one if I can, because it looks like, yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. Don't tell me they blocked me. Did they? All I said was I needed a good laugh. I mean, I don't think I was being nasty. I says I needed a good laugh today. Ha 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 ha, Dr. Drag. I mean, come on. Like, right, but this is the scary image for me that they threw up. I'll take these our comments now, folks, right? Because I want this to be as interactive as I possibly can. Can I just say, though, before I do start putting up comments, if you could just try and be nice in your comments, if you know what I mean. Just don't say anything that I can't throw up on screen, basically, okay? So there's the other photograph that they've thrown up. I mean, that's a scary image in itself. So either this was the announcement that was supposed to be the 21st of April and they've changed it, or there's another announcement on the way. This is not. I just don't know what to say. Let me see, because there's been a few comments since. PD has says, I've just seen it. I have no effing idea what's going on at Bad Wolf Studios. I can't throw that comment up, and if you could refrain from saying those type of things in the chat. YouTube is very sensitive about those things, so if you could, I don't want to call anybody out directly, but please just, I know people are angry, but just try and get your point across in another manner. Garbage says, real life better than Seuss acting. Listen, this Jinkx is supposed to be really talented. There's no debate in whether, I mean, people have thrown that in their faces and says they went to the same place as Brendan Fraser acting school. That's all great. But again, the whole part of this, what we have a problem with, is the whole drag queen aspect of it. When right now, the British public, and I say wider society, is divided on this topic. Right? We've seen all of these shows for kids and, the stuff that goes on. Society's divided by it. Whether you like it or not, that's the reality of the situation. So I think this is a very contentious casting, to be quite honest with you. And it's going to cause division. And there is going to be some anger in the fandom. Right? And I've noticed ever since they have cast Jinkx, all of these people that we've never known are coming into the fandom now. Right? And you know what's going to happen again, like it did for the last 5 years. Fans are just going to be attacked if they have anything negative to say. Throw up is right now. I just don't know what's going on myself, to be quite honest with you. I mean, Friday now is going to be whatever this announcement is. And I've got a funny feeling. I said something a week ago about this. These were all listening. They did a casting call for more drag queens. There's something there. And I know some people made the point it's not the only stuff that they film in Wales. That's fair enough. but I don't know. Seems more and more likely to me. Are they supposed to be an evil musician or something? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the costume kind of looks pretty cool. I mean, as I said, we've had this debate, the whole thing around drag queens, whether people like it or not. It is a dividing topic, and not everybody is so open to having adult entertainment be transformed into kids entertainment. It's not kids entertainment. I'm sorry, but it's not. Lindsay says pantomime season has started early. JWC review says you're stunned now. I know how you feel. LOL. Aeon says nobody's going to watch this. Lord Thus says we knew this was coming full bore. Nobody new is coming around to watch this. That's for sure, says Garbage. At least she's a ginger, says Lortha. Well, we had Donna Noble was kind of ginger. Was strawberry blonde? Would they people say strawberry blonde? It's ludicrous unless it all fits into the imagined character. Bobby thinks they're going full camp. Just tagged you in the post and saw you were live. Okay, let's have a look. I will check that out now. The problem is that Twitter's notifications are not coming up, so I'm seeing a lot of people's comments after the fact. Well, here we go. Oh yeah, I've showed those images on screen. I'm a little bit behind on the chat, so yeah. Let's see. JWC review says moderate your language, and I agree with that. Just please, I know some people are angry, right? But you can express it, but express it in a way that I can throw it up on screen and read it out and let everybody know how you're feeling. The Darren Zone says Doctor Who 1963 to 2017 RIP. JWC reviews thinks it's quite creepy, really. Evil Queen of Jazz, Onions, PD Rich. Look, Noel, you're already trying to self-censor out of fear. No, I just don't want my channel taken down or to be hit because I'm actually quite smart and clever and, can say the things that needs to be said, but without, getting myself into trouble with YouTube. So no, I'm not trying to self-censor myself out of fear, because if you go and check my Twitter account, you will actually see that I don't censor myself. YouTube is a different story. You got to play the game here on YouTube to survive, because I'm not moving to any of the other apps because they won't outlast YouTube. So, you can play this game on YouTube. You can say what you want on YouTube if you're clever and smart enough on how to word things. So, it's not self-censoring. I'm telling people to be clever with the way they word things. You can still get your point across. YouTube, as you know, censors all over the place. It's not self-censoring. Trust me. I can still get me point across and not get into trouble. We've been pretty okay on this channel. We've had a few little incidents, but that's you have to be clever. And you said the alphabet mafia strike again. Lindsay asks, do you think it's a late April Fool's? JWC, don't know, surely a bloke in a dress could play an alien queen. Anyone else bored to death of this whole drag queen thing? Yeah, it's been normalized, you see, by mainstream TV, and it's everywhere now. It used to be its own little niche thing, but now they want to mainstream it, and they want kids and children. They want it to be family entertainment, but pantomime is different. See, again, the people that argue this, bring pantomime up. It's completely different to what drag queens do. Most of you's probably never been to a drag show. I have. Yeah, I think Jinkx could be playing a villain. I mean, based on the pose in the photo where Jinkx is smiling, it kind of speaks to me that Jinkx is playing a villain. Nobody's mentioned the master. Everybody thinks it's automatically other people, but it could be a new version of Missy. Renee says, reminds me of Power Rangers. The warped eyebrow says, I personally, cause of religion reasons, don't agree with drag queens. To see it in Doctor Who just makes me a bit uneasy. Drag queen space vampire, says PD Rich. Could be, man. Well, I mean, we've had the vampires in Venice, Jinkx might be on Blue Peter this Friday. I reckon so. I reckon that's what it could be, an interview. Gobby guy in the chat is there, Lord. I'm pretty sure when you're doing your own video on it, mate, by the time you're finished, you'll be, well. Psychic Beat says, at least she's playing someone evil, evidently. Mm-hmm. Good description, says PD Rich. Yeah, the drag space vampires could be a thing. You know what? We could have a one-off Mad Camp episode. I mean, we've had camp episodes before, but this would be on a whole new level, wouldn't it? In fairness, everyone doesn't really know how this is going to go. Yeah, it true, but first impressions, I don't know. I think that accent's going to grind me up a little bit. If that's the way they're going to talk in Doctor Who, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think they'll even mention drag or drag queens, to be honest. I think she's probably just going to play a character, says Psychic Beats. I like to put up comments from people who think that like they're somehow having a dig at me. So did you not burst out crying live on air because you thought you were getting a non-binary Dalek and Davros would be wearing a skirt? Your tears and pain are glorious. Cry more. It's glorious, not glorious. But yeah, you think that you can hold that against me. At least I have some passion, unlike yourself. Imagine relishing in other people's pain and thinking you're a good guy in this. Let them troll. You know, they've nothing better. Look. They've nothing better to do. If they want to troll me, let them. Do you know what? They're adding to a view to me channel, right? They're actually idiots, right? If they don't like what I have to say, they don't actually have to hang around. But what they do is they creep around away from me to go live so they can come in and make their pathetic little comments. So let them add to the stream. There's 25 people watching now. Like, so the more that come in, the merrier. Don't care. Let them have their little moment in the sun. They think they're having a little moment, but they're pathetic. So don't worry about it. Psychic Beat says, though, I don't know. I still haven't lost hope. Let's not forget RTD's comments about woke writers. I'm staying cautiously optimistic. The stories will be good. That's a fair point. I'm still going to watch. I told you, I'm still watching. I'm still going to watch. I said I was going to watch the 60th, and I'm going to give Shooty a chance. You know? But I can understand why people are not going to give it a chance. I'm not saying more than that because I have to keep it clean, says Gobby Guy. I know. It's not even me. You know me. In the old days, I didn't give a crap. Right? It's just YouTube and Google have just gone crazy with the censorship. So, but if you're clever, as I said, you know, you can still get your point across on YouTube and say the things you need to say. You just have to be clever the way you word things. We got Leland in the chat who's joined us as well. Welcome. This is starting a conversation, good and bad. RTD wants that for publicity. No such thing as bad publicity. Exactly. And if people have opposite opinions, like yourself, Psychic Beach, you're saying you're still cautiously optimistic. I've thrown it up. I'm not here just to throw up comments from people who don't like this. If there's people in here that actually like what they say, I would like to hear from those people as well. But unfortunately, a lot of them just come in to troll rather than coming in and telling me why Jinkx Monsoon is going to be great in Doctor Who. Leland says, though, I saw a photo of the Alpha. Looks like something Christopher Biggins would wear for a panto. This costume is just as shocking as to when we first heard about Jinkx. So Bobby is not happy with the costume either. I thought the costume was pretty decent. It's just I don't know. I think it was the hair that threw me off and the accent. I've got to be honest. I mean, it just threw me. I don't know what it is. It just threw me off. Gobby Guy says hi everybody. So say hi to Gobby Guy. Sci-Fi is Life says it's a very late April Fool's. Jesus, yeah, 20 days. Not nearly 20, not 19 days. John Michael Fink says what we're all thinking. Just want good Doctor Who again, Gobby. And I think that look at that's all we all want, right? Now listen, there's always going to be initial reactions to these castings. I don't know why some people out there like get their panties in a twist, as they say, when someone does a video or someone does a live stream, right? There's always going to be a negative, positive, somewhat mixed reaction to these things. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't discuss them, you know? So for the people out there, like, I mean, the people that will be talking positively about this will have no problem, right? But as soon as someone dares to get a mixed view, which we have had a few in here that have had a mixed view on it, Apparently, I'm a problem. I'm toxic. We're toxic. We're the problem. But yeah, everybody that's in here, and nobody, and I can guarantee you this, nobody will get bullied in here if they have the opposite opinion. People mightn't agree with them, but there'll be no bullying going on in this chat. It doesn't happen. Everybody is civil to each other because everybody knows that everybody has different tastes and, might have a different outlook for Doctor Who. Gobby Guy says this is gonna go exactly sadly as I said it would. Yeah, some years did. I have to admit. I've always been optimistic, as you know. Some people did actually say to me, "No, you're going to take an L on this one," but that wasn't the point for me. I've always said it. At the end of the day, the only way you can judge these things is if you watch them. So right now, yeah, okay, people are. It's not looking good. I will say that, but that doesn't mean that it won't be good. And of course, as people have been saying from the beginning, it could go exactly the way that people have said. But we won't know. None of us will know until we watch. And that's the bottom line. Psychic Beats doesn't like the costume, though. I must admit, the costume and all does look a bit tacky and cheap. Trying to bargain, try to be a bargain basement joker, says Gobby Guy. I don't know what that was, but the laugh at the end, I mean, if you're going for the evil laugh, look, this whatever story they're in or whatever. I don't know if they're a major character, right? But how long are they going to be in it? Is this going to be one episode or a two-parter or what? But whatever they're in is going to be campus as crazy. It's whether it's going to be good though. And the thing about it is, then the whole debate will, well, Doctor Who. I know that there has been campy space shows. I even watch some even to this day. But should Doctor Who go down this route? Is this a way of re-energizing the show, as they would say? I know what a lot of fans would say, including myself. No, don't think so. This is not the way to go. All we want is good, well-written sci-fi with great characters. A pantomime dame is squandering as a woman for laughs, and sometimes in pantomime, you get young ladies playing young boys. Says PD Rich, and PD Rich does walk around the theatre, so he'd know more about theatre and how, and it is actually true. Like theatre do the women will play men and men will play women. Wasn't there a rumor about RTD wanting another Missy? I reckon she could be another. I reckon Jinkx could be another Missy. Personally, I don't think it's who people are saying it is. John Michael Fink saying hello to everybody again, and he just wants Doctor Who to be good again. And this is a guy that spends his money on conventions and goes to conventions and has met doctors and companions and galore. These are the people that RTD is actually, he needs to win back again and not let down like the last regime. Leland says it doesn't inspire me with confidence in the direction the show is going in. The show will be a little camp. His first era wasn't overdone though. I agree with you. It wasn't overdone, but we're coming in. This is new territory now. We're actually getting a drag act, a drag queen into Doctor Who. I mean, Love of Monsters, you would say, is kind of campy. But I love that. I love that. It was, how do I say this? It was camping in the right ways. I know it wasn't everybody's cup of tea, right? But I love that episode. I'm not gonna bash it. I love it. If you go back to the start of the video there, Clown Ranger, I literally show it within the first few minutes, and then you can catch up on the stream if you want to have a look at the costume. There's a little reveal video there. I've not seen the costume yet, so go and check that out. I know who you are, Soil Socked. I know who you are. Yeah. You can remove Soil Sock. We know who that is. That's a vile little nasty person on Twitter that I'm not going to have dealing with, because, like, if I do, I'll be getting this sorted with the law, because I'm just sick of people like that. Imagine going after a dying man. I know you for this news because I wouldn't have seen it otherwise, says the Warped Eyebrow. Thanks very much. Just seeing the costume. It's not as bad as I thought. It might be. Maybe it will be okay, says the Clown Ranger. And I think we're catching up now. We still have a bit to go. Hold on. We're going to have to start flying through this because Leland says it would be nice to have some positive news about the future of the show, some classy cast and no politics, no agenda pushing. Six Nicks is saying good evening to everybody there and hopes everybody is well. I am indeed. Thank you very much for that. Lindsay says, I never watched Jodie, but I will give this a chance. And if it's bad, then I will stop and keep to the classic years. But I'm really hoping it's nothing, as I'm fed up of missing my hero, a madman in a box. And that's the point as well. Lorta says it won't be good. JWC Reviews says, I'm not going to judge it until I've seen it. It's only fair. Signs are ominous, though. Yeah, I agree. I do agree. And I've been championing this second RTD era. And I may well take the L, but you know what? I don't think there's anything wrong with hoping and being and praying that RTD would do right by the show. And I'll stand by that. And it's just saying it's getting worse, Lindsay. Don't ruin your happy memories. Bobby says, I'll still watch. We still don't know who Jinkx is playing. Could be the Rani, but I don't think so. I don't know, because the vibe I get off the character is completely different. It's kind of mastery like. The classic 80s fanboy says, I just hope her acting is better than Lizzo in The Mandalorian. Even mic'd up, she sounded really quiet. Yeah, I stopped watching The Mandalorian. Robert is saying, I'm assuming a cabaret club in space and Jinkx gets involved somehow with predictable results. PD Rich says, if RTD wants a campy episode, fine, as long as it's clean. But if it's a campy season, then it's gonna bomb. Aeon says, what's interesting is they know their new direction would further kill the show because they had to bring back Tennant to reel people in. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, we knew that was the strategy, right? And I don't, while some fans were like, they're playing everybody, that's fair enough. But the fact that he was making an effort to bring back fans by announcing these castings, I thought it was a good thing. We just have to. The 60th, we will kind of get some indication where we're going, especially the last episode. Because remember, Shooty is obviously going to be there. Psychic Beat says though, I hope it isn't another Missy or Master. Bring a new villain in or something. Master needs a break. Series 10 had 2 Masters in, and then again in Series 12 and 13. Maybe we should. Yeah, it's like the Daleks and the Cybermen over the last few years, isn't it? Leland says, bear in mind the recent casting of the Master has been bewildered for the subsequent Doctor. Chris from the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS is in the chat. And they said it looks like Winnie the Pooh from Hocus Pocus and Liberace. I just don't know what to say. I'm actually kind of stunned, stuck for words, really. There was a nightclub singer character in Daleks in Manhattan. Went out with Laszlo the Pig bloke. Maybe Jinkx is playing a similar character, except in a drag club. Interesting. John Michael Fink says, cautiously optimistic. Yeah, I mean, look, as I said, I'm still going to watch. I'm still going to give it a go, because that's what I said I was going to do. But 2 days from now, there's supposed to be another announcement. So we'll see if it's an interview. We will be live, as I said. We'll be going a little bit early than normal. So I will be live at 5 p.m. Because that's when Blue Peter starts. So what we're going to do is we're going to hope that the announcement is made before 6 o'clock, which I think it will be, more than likely. And we'll see what that announcement is. If it's an interview with Jinkx, we'll see how the interview goes. Again, the interview will give you an indication. For a lot of Doctor Who fans, an interview will probably, that little video was the first introduction, right? Remember that. So they'll probably do an interview. That'll be the introduction. So it'll be interesting to hear what they say at their interview, because every casting that they've done, which was pointed out in a brilliant video by Chris Ballstreck, they all had some propaganda message to throw out, because they're not only actors and actresses anymore. Remember that, folks. They're activists as well. And they always have an agenda. They have their ideology, and they can't do an interview without bringing that into it, instead of actually just talking about Doctor Who and the fact that they're delighted to get this role, and maybe tease the fans with something, but not giving too much away. But now they'll come on and say how it's great for drag representation and all of this other nonsense that we hear from all of these activists. And I'm sick and tired of it, right? Doctor Who is not a platform for all of this, right? It's a sci-fi show. We want the sci-fi show to go back and telling good sci-fi stories. Sick and tired of this nonsense, to be quite honest with you. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just, you know, as I said, all of this could be irrelevant and it could end up being the greatest era of Doctor Who to come. But right now, it doesn't, obviously, we don't know that, and it doesn't feel like that right now. So we'll see. If it is an interview, be interested to hear them, and I'll wait and you see. I guarantee it, right? Guarantee it. You all hear me say it right now. I guarantee if it's an interview, they will start banging on how this is great for representation and all of this, where they should be coming on and talking about them being in the show, how it's an honor, how they can't wait to see, for the fans to see that character, and as I said, maybe tease something about that character to give everybody something to talk about. But no, that's not what's going to happen, right? And we know it's not going to happen because it doesn't happen with every other interview that anybody has done. They just can't talk about the show and how it's an honor and all of the stuff that I've mentioned. You have to mention all the other stuff. And I'm getting sick and tired of it. You know, Picard season 3 showed if you listen to people, you do things the right way, the show will go off the charts, right? RTD is clearly not listening or hasn't been paying attention the last 5 years. So, you know, Friday's announcement better be something major, because I can tell you now, I've been talking to people backstage as well, and they think Friday is a very important day. And if it's a Jinkx Monsoon interview and they start banging on about that, well, I'll tell you now, right? The next time we do the Tartar Zone talks next week live, right? That's it. You'll see it for yourself. You'll see what will happen, right? You'll see the reaction on Twitter. You'll see the reaction on social media. It's not going to be pretty because people are fed up with all of this, right? We watch all of these shows, movies, and all of that stuff for escapism, right? Because the world and society is crazy enough as it is, and we get hammered across the head with all of this nonsense anyway. But they want it in our entertainment now, right? And they've been doing it for years, and they've ruined franchises along the way, and they still haven't read the room. And if I fear, if RTD doesn't read the room, by the time it gets to the 60th, I reckon the 60th will be, that's it for a lot of fans. And they'll just walk away and they'll be done. So in fairness, I'm going to say I think Friday's announcement better not be a Jinkx Monsoon interview. It better be something else, and it better be something absolutely amazing. Because the people that I've spoke to, Friday is a very important day for them, and then you drop this 2 days before. So I don't know what to say about the Doctor Who. I don't know what to say about the Doctor Who brand, but it's getting to that point where if the same agenda is going to be continued by RTD that Chris Chibnall tried to implement, and the focus is going to be on that rather than the storytelling, then this franchise is dead in the water. Doesn't matter what spin-offs you do, it's dead. And they can talk it up, and people can say, "Oh, well, it's on Disney Plus and all that." It'll be dead in the water. Trust me. It'll be dead in the water. Again, as I said, you know, every day you turn on the TV, right? We're bashed with all of this stuff, right? And then we turn on our favorite TV shows to get away from that and escape for about 45 minutes or whatever it is, right? Just to feel good about yourself and watch a bit of Doctor Who, enjoy the story, what fall in love with these characters. But it doesn't seem to be the way they want to do things. If we go by the last few castings. But as I said, for me personally, I will still watch because that's what I said I would do, and I'm not going to go back on that. I will give RTD and Shooty. I think Shooty will be a great doctor anyway. I've made that clear. I know some people have opinions on the cast, and that's fair enough. I actually think he'll do a good job. And I've been proven wrong, fair enough, but I don't think I will be. I think he's got too much talent not to do this right, to be quite honest with you. But it'll be all down to how RTD wants him to play it as well. So yeah, well, we will have that, and then Friday night contact special. And by the way, the little trailer that I put together for the Friday night contact Picard season 3 finale special. I can't believe how many people have watched it. Normally when I do a little trailer for any little promo that we're doing on the channel or any upcoming stream, nobody really watches it. But over 140 odd people have watched this one, so I have to say thank you very much. There is a little teaser at the end for you if you haven't actually watched it. So if you want to watch that special announcement video, go and watch it, and then right at the end there's a bit of a teaser for you guys if you are watching Picard. And of course, the last episode is tomorrow, and we will have the lads here on Friday night contact discussing it myself, Lee, Chris, and as I said, it's going to be a cracking night. We'll have plenty of people in the chat as well that have seen it, and there will be spoilers. So, if you haven't watched it, don't come in and spoil it for yourself. Because there will be spoilers. We're not holding back. This is the end now. The card finishes, so we're going to talk about that series as a whole as well, and we're going to talk about the things we did like, and obviously there are things that some of the panelists didn't like that they will discuss, but trust me, it'll be mostly a positive discussion if the series finale goes off without a hitch and it actually is great. Then we will be talking very positively about Star Trek Picard season 3. So come and join us for that. So I'll be watching that when that drops, and I'll have to watch it because there'll be definitely spoilers on social media if I don't watch it. And Picard season 3 is still not Star Trek. Well, you can have that opinion. I would respectfully disagree with you on that one. I think this has been the best Trek in years. It's a great show. It's a great season. The first 2 seasons were absolutely dire, dog, muck. But no, I'm not going to bash something because it's not what I saw. I loved it, right? And I know there's people out there that didn't, and I know there's some people still angry with Kurtzman and Goldsman, and probably the anger to that is kind of not letting them see what the rest of us are seeing. But this is definitely Star Trek, in my opinion, and I love it. We got Clobbering Times in the chat as well. Welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you. But as I said, that's the beauty about fandom, isn't it? Some people will like, some people won't, some people will be in the middle about it. But at the end of the day, and the way I've always looked at it is you shouldn't take my word for it or anybody else's word. What you should go and do is, if you have any interest in watching it, go and watch it yourself and then make up your own mind. I think what happens is now is we rely too heavily on YouTubers uh, to hear what their opinion is before we decide whether we're going to watch something or not. I think that's the wrong way of doing things. I think you should watch it first and then go and watch your favorite YouTubers. And obviously, if they have the same opinions as you, then that's fantastic. Well, as I said, we all have our opinions on it. I'm not going to get into an argument about it. At the end of the day, as I said, some people like it, some people absolutely hate it. And if that's what they want to do, that's what everybody is entitled to do. Look, I'm a fan of the original series. I grew up with the Next Generation. I love this series of Picard. Right, I watched Voyager, loved Voyager. Listen, I know Voyager is awful, but I have a soft spot for Voyager. I watched Voyager. Right, I've watched all of the movies, even the stupid ones. Right, watched the animated series. The only Star Trek show that I haven't watched is Deep Space Nine. Right, it's the only one I haven't watched. But I consider myself a Trekkie. I'm not even a Star Wars fan. I wouldn't consider myself a Star Wars fan, but I'm definitely a Star Trek fan. And to me, this season was great. And I would even say the same with Strange New Worlds, but Strange New Worlds has the potential to be even better. And I know a lot of people don't agree with those opinions, but that's how I feel about it. It is interesting though, isn't it? I mean, it's going to be always one of those issues because the Star Trek brand's name is being dragged through the mud as well, just like Doctor Who. So I can understand some fan reaction. I can understand some fan reaction, but I've liked it. I really have, and I'm looking forward to the season finale. And I will be sad to see it go, to be quite honest with you. See, for me, if this had been season one of Picard, I think it would have been an epic season to start off with. And could you imagine what they could have done after that? It's just such a pity that Kurtzman and Co have sullied the brand. That when something is decent made by some other writer and people involved, it's not getting the credit that I think it deserves, to be quite honest with you. But again, it's always going to be one of those things. Star Trek is like Doctor Who. It's a very contentious subject because people are going to be very anti or pro on it, and it causes it causes situations in the fandom. Oh my God! Watched our Clobber and Time says, "Sorry, I didn't see that." Agreed. Now, different opinions, but it's not a matter of us not seeing something as you say here. But this is not the place for an argument. It's good to see you, pal. I agree. Nice to see you, mate. Um, Oh my God, watch Deep Space Nine. It's the best Star Trek ever. I am planning on watching it. It's one of those things I've been gearing up to because then, I've even given Enterprise a go. And I mean, Anyway, I see the chat is getting very lively about this. But that's what this does, because, if the writers look, I will agree, if the writers and the people behind this had respected it in the first place, we wouldn't be in this position, would we? It's the same with Doctor Who. So while it kind of does frustrate me that, because sometimes I do feel people bash it for the sake of bashing it, right? Season 3, right? Now I could be wrong about that, but just sometimes to me it feels not, and I'm not talking about in here, by the way. I'm talking about on Twitter. I see a lot on Twitter, right? And it kind of does dishearten me because the way I kind of look at things is this way. And I said this a few months back, but I've been saying it for years. But you know, when they actually get something right, we should praise them. You know, because then we can encourage them. That'll give them encouragement to give us more. If we ignore the shows that they're totally making a train wreck of and ignore them, this is the catch-22 situation that the culture war, the supposed culture war that we're in, right? The people that complain about Disney and stuff like that, and they're right, by the way. I'm not criticizing anybody here. I think people are right to criticize what's been going on with Disney these last few years. I agree, 100%. But you know what? If we tried a different tactic, and I know this would never happen, right? This is just a pipe dream that I have. If we tried a different tactic and we actually ignored them, so if we, instead of doing it the way we do it and coming on, like what I did today about Jinkx Monsoon, right? Criticize, right? But we didn't all just criticize, there was some positive as well. But if you just criticize all the time, right? Instead of doing that, ignore all the crap and just then talk positively about the stuff that they actually are making. The likes of Super Mario, Ghostbusters Afterlife, when the first Joker movie was made. Now they're doing Barbie Girl, right? Now I can tell you now, we might think that that's funny and the trailer looks hilariously stupid, right? But I can guarantee you now, and I'll tell you right here, and I said this when the trailer was released, that movie is going to make serious bank. That movie is going to make serious bank, right? But they need to be. These are the type of things. These are the type of movies, like Maverick and all. When fans have been praising it, we should do. I think personally that if we change their strategy, but we'd all have to do it. All YouTubers would have to change their tactic and basically ignore all the crap and talk positively about stuff. But let's be honest, that's hard the best of times. It's never going to work. It's just a pipe dream. It's a delusion. It never happened. But if we actually changed the whole way we did things, all of us, that includes me, and we just flipped it and we spoke about all the positive stuff they did, then they'd be like, oh, they're not even talking about it. We're not even talking about it. We're not giving it even any time of the day. I reckon, right? And this is my opinion, but I reckon the people that were giving out about Captain Marvel, I reckon that movie would have done worse in the box office if none of those YouTubers had bashed it as much as they did and did 100 videos on Brie Larson like they did. I think if they had just totally ignored it, that movie would have went further under the radar. Who actually went to watch that movie? I remember a lot of people went to see that movie out of spite, just to spite the people that were giving out about it. That's the situation that we're in with this. culture war, pop culture war, as they say. It's a bit of a catch-22 situation. But, as I said, a pipe dream is a pipe dream. But imagine if we all just woke up one day, everybody just said, you know what? That's a great idea. Let's just start talking about all the positive things, because all the shit will die. All them TV shows and movies that they make they'll die in the box office. They'll die in the ratings faster and quicker. A lot of people, you've got to remember the other side, right? They don't even understand these characters or love these characters, but they will even watch begrudgingly just to make sure that show or that movie gets its box office. That's how pathetic they are. They literally do that just to make this movie. You see how they do it with the review bombs. I love the media. They always talk about the review bombs, right? And they always talk about the negative review bombs. What about the review bombs from all the stands, right? That go in and review bomb the movie before it's even out. You don't talk about those people. So that's what they do. That's what we would really need to fundamentally change how we do things. But it's not going to happen. And that's what I actually try to do here on this channel. We try to mix it up a little bit. I'm not saying we don't talk about, there are a few things that I was looking forward to that have turned out to be absolutely look like a nightmare. So I talk about those things. But we do like to talk about positive things. We do. We bring up a lot of positive topics. We talk about stuff that we like. If I've watched a movie, I'll recommend a movie. We've been, Lee mentioned the Tetris movie. We've mentioned other stuff as well that we're looking forward to. It's not, if you don't, I can't buy into, if you don't like it, just keep your opinion to yourself attitude. Give your honest opinion no matter what it is. It's not really that. I'm just saying, if we didn't give it as much airtime, or we did just ignore these things, it's not that I'm telling people that they shouldn't have an opinion on it. But I mean, if we were less probably vigorous in the way we did things, how many, there, I won't mention any channels' names, but the Marvels trailer dropped, right? And there's a particular channel that's done 20 videos on the Marvels trailer. How many videos do you need on the Marvels trailer? Do you know what I mean? And then what happens is then you get the people that apparently support this franchise then going into and then they go and watch these movies just out of spite. But I do agree, you have to this is the catch-22 situation, clobbering times, because you kind of have to speak up, don't you? Because if you don't, well, I don't know whether it can get worse or than it is, but that again, that's the kind of catch-22 situation that you are in. And for me anyway, I'll only now talk about those things that I'm going to watch, and if there's anything I need to say about them, I will. Because I'm kind of watching a lot of old TV anyway now. I'm just got reliving my bleeding childhood and my teenage years now at this stage. Because, there's not many things that are out today that I like. I have to be honest. I think TV nowadays has actually gone to the dogs. And even some of the so-called supposedly good shows, in my opinion, are not actually great. I mean, everybody banged on about Stranger Things. I'm sorry, but get it. It's got an 80s vibe going to it and all of that. But other than that, they're just playing up on the nostalgia. It's bar the fourth season. For me personally, I didn't think it was actually that great. I have no idea. I'm telling you, mate. Those people are going to those movies out of spite. They are. They are, man. That's screwed up in the head. Right? You even had the post. You even remember, Clubby? Do you remember the post, Jordan, the Captain Marvel movie, where women were supposedly putting up posts, right? And then someone figured out that they were all putting up the same exact post. So it was clearly either a bot or they were just all pasting the same words. But it was the time when Sonic, actually, there was one incident where Sonic the Hedgehog was out. I think Sonic the Hedgehog came out before Birds of Prey. I'm pretty sure it did, right? And the comments that you were seeing were from supposedly women who were saying, I brought me son and me husband in to see Sonic the Hedgehog, but I walked out of the cinema because Sonic the Hedgehog was misogynistic. So I went to bring them to see Birds of Prey, which was a better movie. The problem was that Birds of Prey wasn't actually even out. It was out a few days later. So trust me, if they're capable of doing it, these people will go to watch these things, right? And they think they're making a difference. It's like the 4 politicians in Washington. Do you remember this whole Bud Light thing, right? Which I still laugh because why would you admit you drink Bud Light? I mean, come on, drink a real beer for God's sake. Bud bleeding light. Anyway, and then you had the 4 or the 3 politicians, or the 4 politicians with a bottle of Bud Light in their hand. And you could tell they've never drank a Bud Light in their life. Like, I just find that whole situation hilarious, man. Yes, love.
I need you to take these.
You need me to take what?
Take these.
Oh, for God's
I
sake.
cannot have access to these any longer.
Yeah, okay,
Look at
Cheryl.
what I've done.
Okay, Cheryl.
I'm unsupervised.
Yeah, I don't know. No. Am I going to have to ring the mental hospital? Fucking hell. Damn. By the way, we're only joking. Just in case. She is stressed though. I don't know why. It all started with this bleeding Love Is Blind shite, right? It didn't come on when it was supposed to, and it's upset our whole rhythm. She'll deny it, but it's the truth, man. Anyway. Yeah, I might get, look, eventually I'll near the holics, I'll get back into
that
it.
is not true.
Oh, here we go now.
Look at this.
You're unbelievable.
So I better move up the hair appointment.
Just
It could be worse.
no, just please.
Love you.
Yeah.
No, love you.
Yeah.
Oh, love you.
Okay, I'll get the straight jacket in a minute.
You put
Yeah. Okay. I'm not saying that. I'm too old for this shit. Anyway. Yeah, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go eventually. It's on my list of things to revisit. So I'll revisit. Just right now, not now. It's one of those things. Well, we just have to hope that Cheryl love, that sounds that show sounds naff. Oh man, stop, man. Stop. She's gotten into full blown reality TV, man. She watches that Love Island crap as well. I mean, I mean, I just don't get that whole reality, that side of it, that love. Yeah, well, supposed to be a love show, like, you know. I just not my cup of tea. I'm sorry. I know there's blokes my age that do watch it and they love it, and I know why they watch it and they love it, right? But it's just that's not my cup of tea, man. That's not my scene. I don't want to watch a bunch of 20-odd-year-olds bleeding drunk and confessing their love to each other, and I've heard some of the conversations that they have on these so-called shows. I mean, they worry about the colour nail varnish, man. That's a whole big conversation. This is why society has been dumbed down, folks. We've been fed literal rubbish. Do you remember that episode of Doctor Who where the game station, right? That's where we are today. That's where we are today. We've just been fed all of this rubbish. Glenn says, again, someone else who's made this point in the chat, we honestly can't judge the drag queen until we have seen the story. It might be great. We just got to be patient. Yeah, I do agree with you on that, but I do feel and I do fear that there are a lot of Doctor Who fans that are losing their patience, though. As I said, I was gonna watch from the beginning anyway. My opinion, obviously, I'm giving me opinions, but it's still, even though I'm giving me opinions, I'm still watching because that's what I said I was gonna do. I'm gonna give RTD that chance. I knew that was going to happen anyway. So, Real Super Doctor says it looks like the Master. Could be. Could be. The Long Game. Yeah, great episode. That's what I think is happening here. We've been fed all of this crap, right? And that's what it is. And you see it. People eating. No. I think the pandemic was the worst thing to happen, to be quite honest with you. Set us back quite a bit as well. And caused an awful lot of mental health issues for a lot of people as well. Because humans are not supposed to be isolated like that. But look, the point still stands. You know, we won't know what this is all going to conclude to until we see it. While some people will obviously have the opinion where it's going, and on some level, I probably think they're right. But in saying that, we just have to hope that he does have Doctor Who's best interest at heart. And, you know, as I said, for me, the issue I don't have any issue with the costume, right? I have no issue with the fact that Jinkx is coming in. The issue I have is that Jinkx is a drag act. And I don't believe drag acts should be part of a family show like Doctor Who. Now, if Jinkx is not playing a drag character, but if you look at that costume, and this is why, you know, so actually someone said it there, we're probably jumping the gun. I'm pretty sure it's nailed on, though, if we look at the costume and we look at the hair, that's definitely drag. I don't think that can be denied, actually. So I don't think fans are jumping the gun, actually, because we've seen the photograph and the video. It's definitely, even the hair, it's definitely drag. So, and that's the debate that fans are going to have, because for a lot of people in society, normalizing this as mainstream and you know, as family entertainment doesn't sit well with the majority of the UK. I know that for a fact, because you see the reaction to it. Right? It doesn't matter what the activists say, right? And I know there's people listening now, because apparently I'm getting bashed on Twitter. Don't care. Bash me all you want. See, you just want to talk about everything like it's all rosy and stuff like that. What you don't like about this channel is we actually give everybody an opinion here. And some people have liked what they've saw and some people haven't. Right? I don't particularly like what I saw, but I do like I thought the costume was okay. I think the accent is a huge problem for me. If that's the accent, I'm sorry, even the accent turned me off. And then the hair was a put off. I'm sorry, I'm going to be out straight and honest here. The hair and the accent threw me off. I didn't warm to Jinkx. So that's the question. And Queen Charlotte is right. It looks like drag to me, that costume. So the question is now, are they going to be well written and acted? And that's the question. But again, some fans like myself will have that argument. Should drag queens now, is this acceptable for Doctor Who? A family show? Because as I said, no matter what these activists say and the people that support Jinkx Monsoon say, right, there is clearly in some parts of society around the world, people are against this. Right? And I'm pretty sure there are more people against this than there are for. The problem is that they've got the politicians in their pockets. So that's the thing. And I'm not going to shield away from that. So you can call me all the names you want. That's the reality and the fact of the situation, that this whole drag controversy that we've had over the last couple of months, maybe year or so, probably a bit longer. I just haven't been really paying attention to it that much, but I've noticed recently anyway that there's been it's more noticeable now. It's in your face. Remember, BBC have also done a casting call for the 20th and the 21st of this month. The 21st is supposed to be the Blue Peter Doctor Who announcement. Also, the call was for drag queens. So it's either got to do with Doctor Who or something else completely different. But you can clearly see, though, that it indicates that this is now BBC's new agenda. Right? They push different agendas all the time. First, it was a female doctor, female empowerment, all of that. Now they're on the next phase, right? Drag queens, trans people, and that's the next agenda now. So they move on to the next. So now all the feminists now are being screwed over now because, they've moved on to the next thing now. So bye-bye. As we told you anyway, they didn't give a crap about you, but you thought they did. But there you go. That's what they do. Now they've moved on to the next one. And then when the next one comes along, right, they'll discard all of what I've spoke about and they'll move on to the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. And all of this because BBC couldn't get their house in order back in the day, and they're overcompensating because, they let a disgusting human being roam the corridors of BBC, and we all know who we're talking about. BBC are even doing a drama on this man, which is absolutely sick, in my opinion. But this is the next phase, folks. This is it, man. Right? And RTD is here now, and he's now in charge. And remember, by the way, I want to point this out. There was a lot of things that RTD wanted to do in his first era that BBC wouldn't let him do, right? Because in some of the novelizations of his stories, he incorporated some of that stuff into his books. Remember that, right? This is an RTD now who isn't really under the whip of the BBC, because it's obviously being produced through Bad Wolf Studios, and obviously with BBC Studios, but he is clearly in charge. Now, if he's been given full reign, and Jinkx has already actually told everybody that RTD advocated and fought for Jinkx to be in this show. So who did he have to fight, and who did he have to actually go and advocate to give you this role? So it looks like this casting is on RTD. This isn't BBC, is what I'm trying to say. So is this RTD now finally thinking to himself that he can fulfill the potential that and what he wanted to do for Doctor Who the first time round? Now he can actually do it, because then it puts all the castings in a whole different light, and then we're going in an absolutely different direction with this show, and this show will never be the same again. And remember, they have used that tagline, Doctor Who for the next generation. What generation? Maybe that's deliberate. Maybe when they're talking about generation, they're talking about bye us, hello, whoever they think they're going to get to watch this crap. If it's crap. Anyway, we got Mark in the chat and Nerdaholics there, but we're going to wrap it up because I didn't want to even spend an hour and 27 minutes talking about this absolute. I don't know what to say anymore. But anyway, we'll see what happens on Friday. But what I mean, as I said, if it's an interview and Jinkx starts banging on about their activism and about how this is great for drag queens, well then I'm just going to tell you now, right? And if you're listening, you're probably not, but if you were listening, Jinkx, my advice to you is this: if you are on Blue Peter and you are going to do an interview, please, by all the bleeding saints and angels in heaven, right, just don't bang on about how this is great for diversity, because that's not what Doctor Who fans want to hear, right? We want to hear about a little bit about the character that you're playing, without obviously giving too much away, because you don't want to give too much away, but also express how it's a pleasure and amazing to work for such an iconic show as Doctor Who. But if you start going on about the nonsense, how this is great for drag queens, you can forget about it. You're going to lose an awful lot more fans that way. Remember, you may not agree with it, Jinkx, but the bottom line is this, is that not all the society is on board with drag queen becoming mainstream entertainment or family entertainment. A lot of society out there believe that it is adult entertainment and it should stay there as adult entertainment. So, you know, if you are doing an interview Friday, the things I would like to hear from you is talking about the show, talking a little bit about your character, and I would not mention, I mean, we could see by even you being on television, we know you are a drag queen. You don't need to tell us, and you don't need to tell us why this is important. All we care about is who you're going to play and why, you know, why RTD advocated. That's what we want to hear. But I know what we're going to hear. And I just fear if that is the interview, if that's what is happening Friday and it is an interview, well then I'm telling you. Yeah, it's become a little club of its own. You know, Doctor Who got accused of being a boys' club years ago, and then you can say that over the last 5 years, it's become a club for all the feminists and all the rainbow warriors. Now it's again they're doubling down on that now, and they're adding the drag queen and the trans community on top of that now. And you know what's going to happen, right? These people that support Jinkx and Seuss and all of these other activists that have now been cast, right, are going to go and start turning their attentions to fans who don't or who speak up, right? And it's going to be the same thing over again that we had the last 5 years. It'll probably be even worse at this time. So we'll see what happens Friday. For me, and for a lot of people were saying that I think Queen Charlotte said it as well, that Friday's announcement would have to be something huge. Well, I mean, you've kind of now shot yourself in the foot now because you've dropped this. So I don't know what it is Friday. I don't know what it is, but I don't know what else you could actually put out on Friday that's going to sway fans now. Real Super Doctor says a new Dalek reveal would be nice, but I don't think that's going to be enough at this stage. Look, I haven't even looked at the reaction to Twitter since I put my comment up. And I don't mean reaction to my comment, but the other comments in there and how many BBC have actually hid this time. So, do we know anything about the next announcement? We don't. We're speculating here that it might be an interview with Jinkx, because obviously they've announced Jinkx now. So logically, the next thing would be an interview, because didn't David Tennant also? Well, he appeared on the One Show, didn't he? It's funny how if Jinkx does turn up, that's going to be on Blue Peter. By the way, just want to make the point that that's actually kind of a family show. You know, David Tennant, I think, was on the One Show. So we'll see. We'll see. There's a rumor of a Fortnite announcement as well. Fortnite apparently is going to go Doctor Who as part of the 60th celebrations. This was spoke about last year because the rumor has been going around that long. And I mean, when I mean last year, I'm actually talking early last year. This rumor has been going for ages and ages, and there's been murmurings about this. But it looks like it might finally be happening. The Doctor Who may appear, and there'll be a storyline Fortnite is going to do. That's going to be kind of Doctor Who themed, but within the Fortnite universe. And as you know, if anybody's played Fortnite, they do multiverses on that. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Why Doctor Who and Fortnite? That makes no sense. Well, I don't think we'll play as any of the Doctors, because the Doctor going around with a gun would make no sense. But you could go around as a Silurian or a Jadoon, you know, or you could go around as a Dalek, Cyberman, you know. But I wouldn't like to see any of the Doctors with a gun. It's me one gripe that I actually have about it. But you do with all characters that you wouldn't expect to have a gun. So I think, you know, they're a little more lax today. You know, years ago, they used to worry about the integrity of a character as well. You know, they wouldn't let characters be featured on certain things and certain brands and stuff like that. But nowadays, it's completely different. Sure, look at the Beatles music is now featuring in ads. Sylvester Stallone's Rocky, iconic music, even the trailer that's featuring in ads. You got Queen music featuring in flash ads. Like they don't care, or they're not as protective as they used to be about the IPs. Anything that brings in money, they'll exploit. So that's what they do. So yeah. Anyway, give us your thoughts anyway in the comment section after I leave here. If you haven't had a chance to leave a comment, and let us know what you think of the Jinkx Monsoon costume and reveal. And let me know what you would like to see on Blue Peter. Is there anything on Blue Peter that will, if you're one of those people that is still on the fence, let me know what will tip you over either side of the argument. It'll be late. Well, it'll be part of the 60th celebration. I don't know if it'll be directly linked to the 60th, but they're doing all sorts of things, games and stuff for the 60th, with other stuff and Doomsday and all of that. So they're doing different things that are just for the 60th celebration. Like you do, you're just going to get an awful lot of Doctor Who stuff. You know, when they did McDonald's and it was in, Ghostbusters with McDonald's and all that, it was everywhere. It was on cereal and all of that. Same thing is happening here because 60 years. So it's basically a huge celebration and different IPs that will probably do one-off Doctor Who things that they've never done before, just for the fact that it's celebrating 60 years of Doctor Who. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily connected to BBC Doctor Who, BBC Studios or Bad Wolf Studios. Now, they may well, and I know BBC Studios are doing their own games and you have companies doing other stuff as well that do concentrate on Doctor Who, but there will be outside IPs that will come in, especially for the 60th, because it is such an iconic show. It is celebrating 60 years. So don't be surprised in some countries if you actually see Doctor Who serial again. Because it's as I said, it's such a big celebration. So no, none of these things will necessarily, the only things that I think will be connected will be the official BBC. So that's the way you have to look at it, right? All of these stuff will be kind of done unofficially, but with the BBC's permission, basically, the license permission, right? And then BBC will have their official stuff, BBC Studios, even Bad Wolf Studios. They will have their own stuff that they'll put out, which will be official. And some will probably connect to the 60th and some probably won't. Listen, this is going to be huge. I don't know if it'd be bigger than the 50th because we've no momentum. Remember, we've no TV show. So this is different. So this is why we've been told that we're getting classic stories. They're going to start showing stuff on the TV because they want to build up the hype. So this is the plan, because if Chris Chibnall was still here and say he wasn't going by the 18-month hiatus as he seemed to do, and say Doctor Who probably would have been on screen right now at this moment under Chris Chibnall, right? Or maybe a little bit later going into the 60th. Think about that. So there would have been momentum there, even though a lot of people wouldn't have liked the Chibs era. There'd still be momentum there because this is the 60th anniversary. There is no momentum because there is no TV show on the screens right now. So they need to do something to compensate for that. And that's why we're getting these special airings of Doctor Who classic stories. Remember, they said they were going to colorize some stories. So that's why they're doing it. So, yeah, look out for all that. Look, there's plenty. Look, there'll be stuff because celebrate the 60th anniversary, right? There will be some stuff that will appeal to everybody, all fans, including classic fans as well. Even B&M, apparently in September, October, are going to be releasing a ton load of classic merch, including more Daleks and stuff. So I'll put up a little short video of the post that was put up by the person. So if you want to go and check that out, it's on a short video and you'll see what I'm actually talking about. But there's loads of stuff to be released. So there's going to be stuff released, but let's see what's happening on Friday. Well, really, I mean, that's the main one. So I'll see you here on Friday for Friday night. Starting off with the Tarzan talks. And as I said, I'll be going live a little bit earlier because we will be watching Blue Peter live. Well, I'll be watching Blue Peter live while I'm on live. And then I'll be relaying to use what we actually see. And then if BBC throws something up official then after it, then I'll put it up on screen. And then on Friday night, as I said, myself, Chris, and Lee will be doing the series finale of Star Trek Picard. And of course, we will then, of course, discuss the whole season, let us know what we thought of it and all of that. So come and join us for that. And we're looking forward to that, the episodes tomorrow. So I can't wait. So until then, enjoy your evening. I didn't plan on going live, but there you go. That's what happens when BBC decide to drop something and, ruin your tea. But there you go. We've discussed it now, so we'll see what the fallout is from this, and I will talk to you on Friday. So have a good one, folks. I will see you very soon.